Hi everyone, my name is Sharan Kumar Nara and I'm a recent graduate from Sunny Buffalo University in a computer science major. From past 1 month, I've been working on a project named AI-powered GitHub PR Reviewer and Code Optimizer. This particular project has a unique problem statement, which personally, I uh, say that I like this particular problem statement because this solves a real world problem right now. Because, for example, let's consider a scenario where there are developers and team members who will review the developer's progress and all based on the code changes. For example, let's say a developer is making many pull requests and he is trying to change as many, he's changing many code files in the project. Now, the team members should review each and every code file in the project, and they need to give reviews on what changes could be done and what all are the good changes or what all are these changes that needs to be uh, reviewed again and enhanced or improved based on the feedback. So for this purpose, it's a manual task that needs to be maintained by team members. So they need to review, like there are many reviewers within a code file and they give multiple reviews that can confuse a developer or it is not easy to maintain. So what my does is this particular GitHub PR reviewer will review each and it considers each and every file changes that a developer did, and based on those file changes our project will try to give a AI reviewed response for it. For example, it considers a change in the previous code and the present code file changes. It takes into consideration for both the previous file and the changed code lines on the particular file, and it will try to generate what all changes are necessary and what all changes are like good changes for the code and what can be the improvements and all the generic stuff for now. And we can enhance this problem statement by using, for example, we can use LLMs for further enhancement because we want a structured response. We want to give a developer a structured format where this particular line is, we can give a particular error comment. And these will be predefined. The predefined comments can be given back to the developer. This can be a future scope. We can do it. And coming to the present scope we are working on, the tech stack I have built this project is based on the Express and React as front end and back end. So coming to the React.js, I have used context API for user authorization. I mean, we can store the sessions of user based on the context API, and there are many there are what do you call? There are many component-based architecture that we have developed using React. And coming to the Express, we have written backend APIs and designed it in such a way that a particular authorized user would be able to use the API or will be able to fetch that API call. And the AI we are using right now is open source, which is OpenRouter GPT. This will gives us the response that we are seeking for our code changes or the file change. And coming to the APIs and a security, and its security, we are using a token-based authentication here, which is personal access token right now. And this uses a token which is generated by GitHub. And when we try to log in, we will give this token such that this fetches all the information of a user and gives and shows that into the front end based on the permissions that the developer has given. So let's quickly see what our problem is. Like, let's see what our code does. So this is authentication context. We can see that we are creating a context using create context in React, which is a powerful uh, hook, I can say. And we are uh, creating a context, and we are providing the context through with to all the children within this authentication provider. So this children comes under the app.js, where not app.js, sorry, it's main.js. So this authentication provider has app component as children, which makes sure that every component which is inheriting or using application component will be storing this particular context and giving you the required user information. So yeah, now that we have seen how use context is being used for storing session data of the user, now let's see how our application works. I'll open a incognito tab here and let's run our application. Okay, so this is a login page. We need to give token. Let's see if I've already copied. Yes. So I've already copied the personal access token. And if we sign in with this token, I will get all my repositories which are there in the GitHub. And this, as you can already see, I've created a GitHub alike website. So this is a basic stuff, and we get repositories, and the pull request for each repository will be designed, like will be viewed here. And you can see that my profile picture, login, logout functionalities have been added. And now that I have made 5 pull requests here for a single test repo PR repository, and we'll see a new pull request after some time. Let's see if others have any pull requests. So there are no pull requests yet for any other repository. I'm just using this test repository for this purpose. And you need to give permissions on what kind of data will be fetched from your GitHub. So that you need to be give on your settings, GitHub settings. And coming to the recent demo merge or comment on the fourth, like these are the comments which are based on the pull request. And when we review on this, these doesn't have any comments before. And these are the files that have been changed in this pull request. When we click on review again, it will try to give the comments on based on the changes that are being made before in the previous file and the current file. We can see that overall the code changes seem fine. It gives you some random suggestions, like the new console statement does not seem to provide any meaningful information. It is advisable for code base clean, so on and so forth. This is given by the OpenRouter API for now. And let's create a new pull request and see how this works. The status is closed for all the requests for now. These we are fetching. And let's see if we put an open request and how does it react. We are already in the repository. In the index, we will try to go with a new branch, git checkout branch, new demo branch. All right, we have switched to the new demo branch, and now we will try to change the index.js file. Yeah, let's see. Let's add some random thing. Let's just add 1 plus 2 is 3. Console.log addition of 1 and 2. The output would be 1 plus 2. Okay, exit. Yes. So this file has been changed. Now we can check the status of the file that we changed. Sorry. You can see that index.js has been modified. Now let's add this file onto our stash. Not the stash, I mean, we'll add these files to the GitHub repo so that this will be pushed onto the origin. Now, what's the next step is we need to commit after adding it. So git commit, and let's add a comment, addition of integers. Okay, now file changed, great. Now let's push this onto the branch that we have created, which is new demo branch. All right. Yeah, our changes have been reflected, so we can see that in our GitHub. Okay, so this is a test repo PR, and we can see that a new push has been done. We try to compare, and we will try to create a pull request, which uh, will try to trigger our application and shows our pull request onto the front end. Let's add some comment, main title comment to add members. Let's create a pull request now. So yeah, so we should be able to see these changes onto our application now. So let's refresh and see that we can see that main title comment to add numbers, and this is addition of integers. So we can see the status is still open. For that purpose, I've just put a UI element so that we can understand if it's a pull request or a closed, like it's an open request or a closed request. And this is a pull request number, and we can see review. Now we can see the additional changes of our code. In the previous request, we don't see the changes because those are not being changed at the time. Now let's see the review. Let's click on review again and let's see what's the output would be. Yep. So this is the feedback that we got from the GPT. Good job on adding the line to show the sum of 1 and 2. Consider updating the message tone the added for better clarity. So based on these comments, we can make use of LLMs for customizable responses in a structured manner. For example, if a developer is working on a project, so this particular comments will be relevant to that project. So that's how we can enhance this particular problem statement with the use of LLMs and customizable machine learning models. And this is all about the project, and let's discuss what are the future further enhancements. So yeah, so in further enhancements, like I would be having a lot of learning scope for this. So as we can see, there are scalable concerns, database usage, AI model enhancement. So one particular idea would be we can use pagination, or we can filter the responses based on the open request or closed response, closed PRs. So first we just retrieve only the open PRs so that there will be less load on the API request, and the information that will be fetched will be less, so that this would be enhanced to a particular. If there are no number of users, then this would be helpful for an extent. And coming to another approach would be like you can cache the information of files. For example, the information of file would not be changing frequently. So if a particular file is changed or even a feedback is being reviewed and approved, then that particular information will be stored in a cache so that this information will be retrieved as quickly as possible, which also is scalable solution for this. And coming to this database optimization, as we already discussed, these informations can be put into a database, which is MongoDB or PostgreSQL. In this case, I think the MongoDB would be much better because of unstructuredness, and we might have comments for fewer, we might not have comments, or the file data would be random, and so on and so forth. And that would be one of the enhancement. Or coming to uh, the API request, we can make parallel API requests for retrieving the file information. So instead of retrieving every file information at once, we would just we would make that possible using parallel API requests, and we can make use of GitHub webhooks. I have written a webhook for it, but that's not doing anything for now. But we can make use of that webhook, and we can generate few notifications based on
the triggers, the and we can make use of this microservice architecture where we will be using some certain folder structure, which makes this uh, particular component, or not the components, but a particular service will be contained in a particular folder. So this scales independently. The services scale independently. So that's how we make use of that. And coming to the milestones. So this is yet to be done. I wanted to integrate this in cloud. I want to containerize this application into Docker and make this automated, the workflow to be automated in such a manner that everything, every process that we are doing manually now will be automated in future. So that's all about my project, and thank you so much for staying till now.